On this episode of DC On Screen, Robert Pattinson said there are no bad Batman movies. Ezra Miller makes a confusing Instagram story, and Gotham Knights gets a pilot order. All of that and so much more after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable and your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
Welcome into DC On Screen, the podcast that discusses the DC Comics multiverse on film and television. I'm David C. Robertson, and this is the man who believes that brevity is the soul of a small girl from Wales named Whitley, Jason Goss.
Lovely.
I thought you'd like that.
Very good.
Before we get started, thank you to all the patrons out there. In case you were wondering, Patreon is the very best way for you to support this show, and I have just dropped our Spider-Man No Way Home review over there, so go check that out. But you got to be a $5 patron. Currently, you can pledge $1 a month and get every episode ad-free, and $5 a month gets you that plus whatever bonus content we put out. And if Patreon is not your jam, and you still want to support the show, we have links to support through one-time donation and a merch store at dconscreen.com. All right, man. So, a little disclaimer before we get really into the news. We're at a point. We have crossed the precipice where there are just TV spots and clips and things for the Batman happening, and I am not even watching them because I don't want to see it. I want to see the movie, but I don't want to see the movie before I see the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And similarly, I have seen more hype about the hype than I have the actual hype that's supposedly out there. I don't know that I personally have caught any other single instance of marketing, other than like a few posters here and there. But yeah, I have so far just kind of juked and jived around it, and then otherwise have just seen a bunch of people posting about how much the marketing is interrupting their lives. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch TV too much. Like, I don't watch actual TV. Like, I watch streaming services, so I don't really see those commercials. But, you know, just checking on the news, daily popping over, you know, to the news sites and seeing like, oh, what we got today on DC? What's happening here? It's just like, they release another clip. Here's a scene. Yeah. Now the scene's in 4K.
Yeah.
This one has that. Okay.
That's
okay,
great.
I get it. Cool.
I'll watch it in a month.
New TV spot. Okay. Well, I don't, because, you know, we've been doing this show for a long time. What is it, like 7 years?
It's 6-7 years, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I've done a lot of, you know, extensive coverage of this stuff. And I know with the marketing machine the way it is, I'm going to go into that movie and I will have already pieced together about half of the movie and just go, oh yeah, that looks like, yeah, I remember that bit from the TV spot. So I'm pretty sure that happened. Yep, there it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this is boring. We're not covering that.
Yeah. And these are just little snippets. It is just part of the hype train, and I'm already hyped enough. I require no further doses.
Which, you know, Pattinson, getting into the news here, Pattinson said that the movie is strangely personal for him. He said, and what's weird is he equates that to like being despite the fact that there's a tease for a sequel in the movie. Like, he's like, they always have that little bit at the end that's like, and coming up. But other than that, it feels strangely personal. I'm not sure like why. I mean, we knew that it was going to happen. They've been talking about how they were, you know, setting up a trilogy. So I'm curious, though, what in Pattinson's head says that a tease at the end means that it can't be personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're going to get to the end of this movie and see whatever that is and remember and go, oh, I get it now. But for now, I don't know, man. I came up with some wild guesses myself, and none of it feels right.
Yeah.
It's a strange phrase.
It is. And Matt Reeves was talking about how he came up with his version of the Riddler, and he says, early on, this idea of doing a serial killer story popped into my head, and I started thinking about superheroes, the idea of wearing costumes. I read Mindhunter. It made me think of the Zodiac Killer and how he actually wore this primitive costume that really is a primitive superhero costume, a rogues gallery costume. And I was like, oh, that's really scary. The idea of people really wearing masks and withholding their identities and terrorizing people, and how scary that is. And I started thinking, well, it could be an origin tale for the Riddler, and it could be an origin tale for some of these other characters. So yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about that necessarily.
Yeah. I can see it though. Does make me kind of miss the days of those clowns appearing cryptically in certain cities.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was. I missed that news cycle though. And then the climax where apparently there was a Batman somewhere around that saw one of the clowns and just gave chase.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
That was. Yeah. Sometimes the universe gives you something and you're like, man, good looking out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and what cracked me up more than anything was, being on social media during that time, and like all of my left-leaning friends were saying, oh, this is the alt-right. And then like all of my right-leaning friends were like, it's the leftists trying to subvert.
Or whatever it was called.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's probably a bunch of teenagers who don't give a shit about either.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's teenagers and or crazy uncles. 100%.
I saw a comic strip actually earlier this week, and forgive me because I can't remember who made it. But basically it was a couple of different sports fans in the stadium, and one of them's like, yeah, your team sucks. Well, at least my team isn't that. And they start like they're beating the shit out of each other. And then it pans out, we pull out, and we see that like the two teams are getting along famously. They're like, hey man, let's go get drinks.
That sounds, yeah.
And doesn't that just sound like pretty much the DC fandom, the Marvel fandom, like the fanboys in general?
Yeah, I mean, they're the actual executives at both are not, breaking pull cues over their thigh to stab each other. Like, no, that's the kind of shit that happens on the local level. On their level, nah, it's all martinis and late lunches, man. They're good to go.
I thought you were going to say hookers. It's all martinis and hookers.
I went in a much cleaner direction, but it would be accurate.
You did.
It's still, I mean, I'm not discounting your imagery either.
And for whatever, I had an image of Robert Patrick in my head. I had an image of Peacemaker's dad. Like, what are you going to do, sir? I'm going to go home. I'm going to get a broad to come over, suck my dick. Then I'm going to kill my worthless son.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy with him just like, that part cracked me up too, because the guy with him's like, hell yeah, finally. Which, saying finally in that scene, isn't it also basically you telling this guy that it's like your superior that you thought he just made a terrible decision not doing this all these years? Knowing me, I feel like in that situation, if I agreed with what I'd just been told, I'd be like, oh, all right, bold move, let's do it. I'm not going to like, finally, you fucking idiot. I've been thinking you should do that for so long.
Peacemaker's a fantastic show, though.
It is. So creepy when he gets in that costume.
He's creepy no matter what.
He is. He does a great job with creepy.
There's a reason he, completely smashed in friggin' T2, man.
They even gave him a creepy part of the dance in the openings. I don't know what that what that little pelvic thrust is, but
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is a pelvic thrust.
I mean, I know technically what it is. I just don't like to see it.
Yeah, right.
Aggressive.
Well,
weird.
I recognize that pelvic thrust. That is the pelvic thrust of a man with a bad lower back. And anyway, moving on.
I'm just glad the show finally made fun of his hair.
Yeah, right?
It was a weird choice.
It was, but it seemed accurate.
It did.
I feel like I feel like that guy has called me a pussy for not drinking Buffalo Rock at some point in my life.
Yeah, he does feel like generally just every guy in the locker room ever that's like, what do you mean you've never, fought a bear with your bare hands with a squirrel tied to your back? Get out there and do it, you pussy.
What does that one do? It gives you scabies. Why would I want to give myself scabies? Test yourself.
Yeah.
Every man should have scabies once in his life. Oh.
No, I'll skip. Thank you.
Robert Pattinson was talking to Total Film, and he was talking about why he wanted to play Batman. He says, I was aiming for quite different stuff. Obviously, it's basically the jewel in the crown of the parts you can really get as an actor, but I never really thought I was anywhere close to doing it, and especially with the other parts I was attracted to at the time. I just kept obsessively checking up on it for the next year or so. Even my agents were like, oh, interesting. I thought you only wanted to play total freaks. And I was like, he is a freak.
Are you not familiar with the character at all?
Well, evidently a lot of fans aren't, because they were upset with, a lot of people were upset with that comment.
Oh, come on.
I know. I was like, and those are the people who haven't read enough comics.
I mean, the man wastes half his considerable fortune basically doing cosplay to beat up people at night. Like, what version of that sentence can you possibly form that's not slightly crazy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is a detour. I was kind of
Good.
I was I was sitting around in the living room with my wife last night, and I was just kind of like, I wonder, what all's out there on all the streaming services. You can go to your Roku and you can just put in Batman and just see, who's got what. And I found the 1943 Batman movie serial with Lewis Wilson and Douglas Croft as Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I've seen the 1949 so many times.
Yeah, you used to just kind of play that one in the background.
Yeah, but not the 43. I've only seen that like once. So I, just almost to see my wife's reaction without telling her, I just stuck that on. And she looked up, she heard the music and looked up and saw the black and white, and her lips curled. And but she was like, no, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever, watch it. So I watched it for about an hour. And I had not remembered this, and I was very taken aback and very intrigued. I really like the idea, and it's an idea that I've thought of, if I ever wrote a Batman story. And like just watching it, like Lewis Wilson and Douglas Croft play Batman and Robin like they are enjoying the shit out of being Batman and Robin. Like, there are no scowls. Like, they beat the shit out of a bunch of criminals, and they run and get into Bruce Wayne's car, and they like look at each other and laugh maniacally as they take off their masks. Like, they are enjoying the hell out of themselves.
Well, that is fun.
Even when like Batman beats the shit out of this dude and like takes him to the Bat's cave and interrogates him. He's not using a growly voice. He's using a normal guy's voice, like, that 1940s, 1950s like Hollywood patter.
Yeah.
But he's in the Batman costume.
The accent that didn't come from anywhere and should never have existed, but somehow did for 25 good years there in the middle.
Yeah. So the guy like
no
wakes
basis
up.
in reality, but there it is.
The guy wakes up and they're like, they have like the shadows of bats flying around. He's like, oh, and he's like, oh, nonsense. Oh, they won't bite. Unless, of course, I tell them to. Now, this place is quite cozy. Perhaps you could tell us what you know. It's just like, but he's got this like weird grin on his face. Like, he looks like he's about to peel this guy's skin off. The guy is like freaking out, and it somehow works. And like Robin is just standing there, like, arms crossed, like big grin plastered on his face, like, yeah, we're gonna get you, you piece of shit. I'm like, that take needs to be updated for today. Because like, I don't even see like Batman's not even like, you have to train, or anything. He's just like, all right, Robin, let's go do this thing. They're just like, they're just so full of joy beating the shit out of people. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's the, if you love what you do philosophy, right?
Right. Now, that specific serial, if you want to go check it out, it's just called Batman 1943. There is some pretty awful yellow face in it. Like the big bad guy is a Japanese dude. He's trying to overthrow democracy, but he ain't really Japanese. He's just like clearly like an English actor with like a eyeliner on.
Right.
It's bad. It's real bad.
That is, yeah.
But if you can get past that and just be like, well, it was the time.
Which just is the case with so many things that you go back for.
Yeah. 5 years ago, you got that shit.
Yeah.
If you can get over that, it's pretty interesting. It's like hilariously almost 4 hours long.
It is,
Since so many people are complaining about run times for movies right now, I'm like, well, check out this movie serial from 1943.
I mean, but in serial form, how many little installments is that?
I don't know, because it's on Tubi TV right now, and they don't show me. They have edited it together into a full movie.
Oh, which is
they
nice,
don't show me the serial breaks.
Yeah,
but it's a 15-part serial, and it's 4 hours long almost. So, who knows? I'm sure someone could do the math.
I mean, it's. I guess it's not going to like stress your bladder to sit there and watch that for 10 minutes before another movie that's only 82 minutes long.
Mm-hmm. So the Batman, they've released these posters that when you hold a blacklight up to it, there are cryptic Riddler messages on the poster.
I like it.
And if you it's a cipher, and if you decipher it, it says you are part of this too. Find out why. All right, I'm digging all that. I'm looking forward to the Batman.
I keep wishing I had time to sit and actually try to work some of those puzzles out, but
I mean, by the time I even know they're happening, I'm just it's already decrypted, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah, I mean that's my problem. Is like I'm not going to beat the internet to that.
No, well, you're not hanging out in movie theaters with black lights either.
Well, also not since the old days.
Not since the old days. I remember those days. I wasn't friends with you back then. I'm sorry.
It's just me, Blacklight, a team of frogs.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is getting to a bit into the weeds, but I feel like several of our listeners have messaged me and was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. But I will tell you this. This is what they're referring to. Ezra Miller, if you didn't know, he's on Instagram now, and he posted a story. It's a close-up of it's like a screenshot of one of these articles where they were saying that Ben Affleck claimed that his time was done. And he was specifically, I believe, where he was saying that it was playing the Batman and the Flash, between that and Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was a satisfying end to his Batman. It was satisfying to play him one last time. And Ezra has underlined one last time in red and then wrote all over this picture, ha, ha, ha.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot, people don't know what the hell this means. Does it mean that is he celebrating the fact that Ben Affleck is gone? Which I doubt, because otherwise he would have said, I don't want Ben Affleck in my movie. Let's just do straight up Keaton.
Right.
So I'm going to knock that one out. Toss that one to the wolves.
They just seem so genuine about when they're talking about enjoying the set and the experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not my first, not my go-to either.
So my personal theory, and I could be wrong, but this sounds like Ezra knows something that nobody else knows. These articles, these interviews come out sometimes a couple of months or more after, it was given.
Yeah.
So we might be looking at this and going, well, this is how Ben feels now. Well, let's look at the evidence. Let's look at all the things that are happening right now. I know I keep saying it, but let's go back to Zack Snyder's Thanksgiving Day turkey. With that copy of Final Crisis and the leather-bound storyboard notebooks on top of it.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the fact that the executives at Warner Brothers are changing hands in not that long from now. Like, it's happening. They're merging. Discovery is merging. We know that that the head honcho over at Discovery is pretty much, coming in and throwing his dick on the table. So,
we've been wondering about the dynamics of it. God, I feel like that merger's been happening for forever. These things take like 2 or 3 years.
Well, I mean, we were talking about the AT&T merger before. There's always a merger.
I know. The Discovery part, though.
Now, whether or not you want to say, oh, well, it's not feasible for them to do a live action Zack Snyder Justice League sequel. All right, they could do animated. I don't know. They might never do it. I just think it's all weird. I think it's like David Ayer keeps hinting some stuff, about the Ayer cut. Zach keeps hinting stuff. Now Ezra doing this with Ben, because we know if Zach comes back, Ben will play Batman again. He will, in whatever form or fashion, pop in to make sure that Zach gets his due, because Ben and Zach are friends.
Yeah.
I think it's highly suspect that we haven't heard anything about a Henry Cavill Superman movie. If they were really wanting to go into, we're going to, move in this new direction, if the Hamadaverse, conspiracy theorists are correct, then they should have already started. They should have already announced, because like Henry Cavill was Superman at the end of Joss's Justice League.
Yeah.
And it set that up perfectly for what, the Hamadaverse supposedly is. He's in the red and blue. I don't think Cavill wants to come back unless he can finish Zach's arc. And let's not forget that the special effects people were going to pass on the Flash until they saw the script and they said, oh, well, they're honoring Zach. So, and what we did in Zack Snyder's Justice League, like, I think it's all very, very interesting. None of the filmmakers like that have spoken about it have said, oh yeah, we're going with Justice League. No one's saying that shit.
Yeah.
They're talking about Zack Snyder. So I don't think the Flash is going to be what all the conspiracy theorists think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to erase shit. It might for a moment in the movie, but I don't think it's going to undo anything at the end of the day.
I mean, even if it changes parts of the Snyder version, it's still gonna be the starting ground.
Mm-hmm. But
it does have the capacity to change things, change the trajectory. But we all know what they're thinking.
What are they thinking about? What are they thinking?
Well, who they're thinking about?
Who are they thinking about?
Old Snidey.
Probably. I mean, the dude's like doing gangbusters over here on Netflix.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
He won't be free until 2023 to really dig in, but that's not that long after the merger actually happens.
Right.
This is all hopeful talk, but also just looking at a lot of the different things that have kind of come out and just you're going, this smells like something.
Yeah.
Anywho, we do have a weird, we got a
place at least.
Yeah. Steve Agee, the guy that was the body double, or he was the animatronic guy who did King Shark, and he plays Economos in the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Mm-hmm. And we've been hearing rumblings about this, but he confirmed that Harcourt is going to be in Black Adam.
Oh, cool.
And he seems to have confirmed a rumor that happened months ago that I didn't even report on because it was like, we got this. But he seemed to confirm that King Shark would be in Aquaman 2.
Okay.
Or at the very least in another movie.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, King Shark was a big deal.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's all I've got for movie news. You wanna go to break and then come back and do some TV?
Let's do it.
Cool. So, Jason, we lived together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been friends for 10, 12 years, something crazy.
Yeah.
I'm simultaneously proud and ashamed to say, I don't know whether you sleep in the nude or not.
Ranges. Very temperature based.
See, I hate sleeping in the nude. I don't know why. I feel...
Just depends. Depends on what I'm up for.
I feel more safe wearing underwear.
Can't do
but
shirts
they gotta be
anymore.
comfortable.
They get twisted.
No, I can't do shirts. But underwear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I need some kind of soft cloth cradling my balls. You know what I mean?
Something kind. Gentle, but firm.
And, nothing makes me happier than waking up in comfortable underwear. And I have my list of underwear that I like to wear. But, MeUndies wants to add to that list. And they want to add to that list for you too.
Very good things.
But they're not just any underwear, Jason. They're ridiculously soft with now DC prints that make picking out underwear actually fun.
There's the kicker.
In case you guys haven't figured it out, I'm super excited because we have a new sponsor on the show, and it's a product I've honestly been dying to try. I listen to a ton of podcasts, and it seems like everyone is talking about MeUndies. And while we actually haven't had a chance to try them out yet, our order is in, and they should be showing up at our door any day now. Is that them?
That might have been. Or
MeUndies.
My wife dropped something.
Probably that one. Maybe it's the underwear. Maybe she dropped them.
MeUndies opened the package.
Yeah.
It was so taken.
Yeah.
The hands became weightless, useless.
She was like, these prints, they're everything I ever thought of. Anyway, MeUndies makes the softest fabrics you ever put on your body so you can sit at your desk podcasting all day or go out and listen to podcasts all day, ignoring the loud, irritating world around you.
Perfect for Zoom meetings.
While living your comfiest life. Yeah, you don't even have to wear pants during the Zoom meeting. Once you try their undies, socks, bralettes, and loungewear, you will never go back. Choose from a range of limited edition prints and colors and sizes from extra small to 4XL. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, where you get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, enjoy discounted pricing, free shipping, and exclusive early access to new launches. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you can get 15% off and free shipping. And they have this promise: if you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, you can return your order for a full refund within 45 days. To get that 15% off your first order and free shipping, go to MeUndies.com/DCOS. That's MeUndies.com/DCOS. And that stands for DC on screen, folks, if you didn't catch it. I'm so excited because for once in my life, I think I'll probably be wearing the same underwear as Conan O'Brien. And that's all I've ever wanted, Jason.
Right. We've talked about that in depth. Yeah. It was never that you wanted to speak with him, maybe catch up, maybe even end up on the show. Get to do like one of the 5-minute monologues at the end, stand-up wise or something. No. None of those were ever anything you were interested in. You just wanted to wear his underwear.
That's too intimidating. Yeah. I just want to secretly wear his underwear and, lovingly...
be able to maybe pass him on the street with like a wry wink.
I just want to sit in the underwear that I imagine he has worn and stroke the little Conan doll that I got from the Conan O'Brien loot crate that Chris White gave me.
Of course.
And, I don't think that's too much to ask for. Anyway... Let's talk about Peacemaker. And we're not even talking about Peacemaker for real. I don't know if you've noticed this, but as I know you haven't been on Twitter very much, but
it's increased on Twitter, a little now that I've gotten Spider-Man under my belt.
On Twitter and Facebook, there has been a cadre of very toxic Snyder fans who have decided that they need to hashtag boycott DC. And James Gunn, creator, director, writer of Peacemaker, responded to this. Specifically, they had some sort of GIF comparing Snyder's DC trilogy, Trinity, which was Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, to the new DCEU Trinity, which is like Peacemaker, Vigilante, and that lady in bed together. I can't remember her name.
I remember her part of the story, but that's it. Yeah.
Right. And Gunn responded and said, DC is not one thing. A beautiful aspect of comics and films based on comics is they can be in any genre for many ages. Most of us are comfortable seeing a variety of feels in our comics, films, and shows. And then he tweeted along with that 4 different comic book pages with varying art styles. He had something from Watchmen, something from Batman. He had the Spectre coming out of the wall and the priest looking up from Kingdom Come, and a Plastic Man cover which is obviously really silly looking. And I can't agree with him more. DC is many things. It has been many things over its, 85 years of publishing. It is many things in tone. And, I've seen a lot of people who, well, let's be honest. I've seen mostly people who are enjoying the shit out of Peacemaker. But I have seen, Twitter likes to do that thing where they're like, hey, you like the DCEU? Here's this toxic piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. But I see a lot of people through those means who say things like, Peacemaker, I can't imagine that this is in the same world as Man of Steel. And I'm like, look, tone is very, in my real life, and I've said this before, the tone around here, around my house, is very different than the tone at my parents' house.
Yeah. Tones change literally throughout your day as you change environments.
As you change environments.
Really, that's
go to the richest part of your town and then drive over to the poorest part of your town. Tell me you don't see a tonal shift.
Going to be a conversational shift at least.
So,
go just to a series of establishments. Head to a pharmacy, somber. Head to like a Walmart, a bit cray. And then go to like a Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
Or a Panera.
Well, you can even keep it in pharmacies. You can go to the Walmart pharmacy, which is like,
bit cray.
Bit cray, yeah. I mean, you're going to have, people in tube tops in the dead of winter with children hanging out of their uterus. Then you go.
Been there, seen that.
Yeah. Go to a richer part of town. Go to one of these little like nice, like quaint neighborhood pharmacies where everyone is approximately a 60-year-old white woman. And you don't see all that shit. You won't want to
just there for cholesterol medication. They're fine.
It's all going to be like, anti-Semites. Yeah. It's all going to be a bunch of wasps and really overpriced bandages.
Right.
And Christian music playing on the...
Here there will be contemporary Christian music playing.
I have been in Mountain Brook, yeah.
That would be in the Walmarts here if it wasn't, I think, like a national mandate that there wasn't music.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I remember the first time, I think I was like delivering a pizza to one of those places, one of those pharmacies in Mountain Brook. And I was just like, I walked in, I was like, what the hell is this place? It looks like a Hallmark store, but with bandages and medicines.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving over to The Flash, Rick Cosnett is set to recur in a multi-episode season 8 arc of The Flash.
Thought he'd be back one day.
Yeah. And apparently his character will be going somewhere unexpected. Well, I imagine so, because he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah, it would have to be.
They said Rick has been fantastic in bringing an exciting new side to his portrayal of Eddie Fawn, almost said Eddie Brock, that both honors the character's past, but also takes it somewhere unexpected. I only got to see Rick behind the scenes and hug him, Grant Gustin said, and it felt like no time had passed. But unfortunately, we didn't share any screen time during his return. Which doesn't mean anything. Kirk and Shatner and Montalban didn't even have any scenes together technically while they were shooting in Wrath of Khan, but they talked over the view screen.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the Federation ship that Montalban's character had stolen was basically just a redressing of the Enterprise bridge. And they couldn't do both at the same time.
That makes sense.
I am really excited about this piece of news. You've been dick deep into Fake Doctors Real Friends.
Yeah, well,
the Scrubs rewatch podcast.
It actually made me rewatch a couple of early episodes.
Donald Faison is joining Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, that is fantastic.
If you don't know, he was on Scrubs. He played Turk. He was in Clueless. He's fantastic. Now, here's the character description, and I think they're hinting at who he's playing here. Though they haven't officially said. This might all be a red herring, but listen to this. The Legends first encounter this character at a different phase of his career, whose golden years are in the rearview mirror. He is a good guy deep down. His ego is looking for a boost that only fame, fortune, and glory can provide. While he claims to have been recruited to work for a mysterious time organization, he wasn't offered much of a choice in the matter. As an unauthorized time traveler with high-profile aspirations, he developed a mischievous streak and cuts a few corners along the way to achieving his dreams. He knows all about the Legends of Tomorrow and finds them inspiring because they are the kind of heroes who started at the ground floor as opposed to inheriting their powers from an alien planet, a spider bite, or wealthy parents. But the big question is whether his respect for the team is going to be able to help the Legends out of hot water or get them into hotter water. So that just sounds like Booster Gold, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They even went out of their way to say golden years and boost.
Boosted, yeah.
You know.
Trying to imagine Turk in the golden costume now, and it's just like, it'll work.
Yeah, well.
It's a little hard to visualize. It's the glasses. The glasses are just hard to put on anybody's head, in your imagination. They're weird.
Oh, no. Remember that episode of Scrubs where, like, in JD's imagination, they're like all pimped out. They got the chains and shit, and they're like pimping down the hallway. Like Turk has got some like big ass orange like shades on.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, no, I can see it.
And I'm excited for that. Legends is consistently one of my favorites. So
somehow that little guy just crept in there.
I know. Gotham Knights gets a pilot order at the CW. And I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. Let's see. We've got... in Gotham Knights, in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Caped Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the only one we ever get on TV, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected places as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors. And it looks like Five Ash Stotterow and Abrams are going to be writing the script. And these are people from the Batwoman show.
Yeah.
So and they have credits on Gotham, Krypton, and the Vampire Diaries. I have not been a fan of Batwoman the last 2 seasons. I don't think it was as solid as it was in the first season. I'm sorry if the first season was just toxic as shit for the actors and Ruby Rose. I don't know who to trust there.
That was a nightmare of a press round. Either way,
yes, it was. Yes, it was. But I have not been a big fan of the way they've been going. And mostly, it's not really the storylines. It's just the exposition. It's just the characters saying things that they don't need to say. Supposedly very, very smart characters who are explaining things to each other that I'm like, yeah, we you know this. You talked about this 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I don't care for that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a little bit overwritten.
And it looks like, according to Bloomberg, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is going to be delayed until 2023. That's the big Rock City game.
Yeah. That sounds right, though. Most Rock City games, it feels like, are delayed.
Yeah, man, they've been dragging this one out, man. We got a trailer for that, 2 years ago at Fandom?
I think the first Fandom had the long teaser reel to it.
Well, guess what, man? That's the end of the road.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Well, that was quick and smooth.
I know. That's what she said.
Has to happen sometime, I guess.
Quick and smooth. Quick and smooth. Just like my little friend who's going to be housed in that MeUndies.
Only took us 600-something episodes to get through an hour or so with no major digressions.
Kind of impressive.
Practice, man.
It's these kinds of days, man.
It helps.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And we'll try to be back in the next couple weeks with, unless something crazy happens. If something like nuts happens, at least one of us will be back. Like if something like, Robert Pattinson like dies or something.
Or finally watches a Batman movie he doesn't like.
Yeah, he did. He said there were no Batman, no bad Batman movies.
Yeah.
Did I even mention that during the show?
I don't remember.
I don't even think I did.
think
I think I forgot. I think I skipped over that one.
It was my favorite part is that he just actually really enjoys these movies.
Well, his point was, whatever they were going for, they got to it. Like, you could say you don't like one of them, but that's what they were going for. They hit the mark on everything they were going for.
Right.
Essentially. God. Thanks for pointing out. I missed that.
Did not mean to.
Now I'll
just like talking about it. Or if we figure out what the fuck Ezra was talking about.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate. Like, if we figure out what Ezra was talking about, I'll be like, holy shit.
Emergency meeting.
Forgive the screaming children.
Right.
And singing wives. We have shit to discuss.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I did get a text a minute ago. A bowl was broken. Not sure which one. She said hers, so.
So you don't give a shit.
Won't be. None of my cookery has died today.
Oh, God. That just reminds me of Mitchell and Webb.
Mm-hmm.
All that we've proven here today is that you're better at cookery than me.
Will you stay?
The only way this program helps me is if you stay forever. You got a full restaurant, mate, because you're here.
As soon as you're gone, they'll leave. And my restaurant will be in ruins. Will you stay?
That's a fantastic bit.
And then he's just, all right, let's hug it out.
You loathe me.
I could talk.
That's all there is to it. As far as I'm concerned, that's witchcraft. You didn't even show me how to do that.
He tries to make the little lemon, whatever that is, on the garnish.
I thought they were, I thought they were like little like fried potato like slices that are like all connected and like just looks like a scrunchy of fried potatoes or something. I can't know.
Yeah, scrunchy or fried potatoes actually is a better description of it. That's about right. Yeah. The cook does it with no effort whatsoever, no problem. Yeah. He tries to do it, and it's like a crumpled pile of starch, and he's got 4 Band-Aids on all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a fantastic send up of like all the Gordon Ramsay, Robert Irvine stuff. Yeah. Anywho, thanks for listening. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen and keep some MeUndies on your arse. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.